Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to week 3 of distance learning. Today we're going to be making a stir fry. So by now you should have prepared yourselves and your environments, and I'm going to run you through some of the mise en place before we start cooking our stir fry. So firstly, I've got my red board, my red knife and a chicken breast here, and I'm going to start by preparing this. Now you'll see on your chicken breast you have a slit down the middle here. I like to start by just running my knife and splitting the chicken breast along the fillet line here. We can see lots of little white gristly bits and bits of fats on the edge of the chicken breast, and you just want to go and cut those off because they are not very appealing, either taste or texture. So we take all of that off, and then we're just going to slice our chicken breast into long strips like so, about the length and width of your finger. We're going to go across and we're going to do one breast per portion. So if you are cooking dinner for 4 people, I would do about 4 chicken breasts worth of chicken. And I've just placed it into a pre-prepared marinade. In that marinade, I have got a ½ teaspoon of soy sauce, a ¼ teaspoon of salt, ¼ teaspoon of sugar, a pinch of pepper, a tablespoon of corn flour, a ¼ teaspoon of bicarb, and 2 tablespoons of water. All of that is on Show My Homework. Now, when you're weighing it out, make sure you are accurate. I have these handy little pre-measured table and teaspoon measurements. If not, your own home spoons will be fine. So, because I've got raw chicken on my hands, I'm just going to go and quickly rinse them before I mix the chicken with the marinade. So this is one that I've just prepared with you here. It should look like so. It's nice brown liquid, and I'm going to stir the chicken through that. I have one here that I made earlier because marinating increases flavour, and the longer that you do it for, the greater the flavour will be. So that's all prepared and ready to go. Now on to our vegetable prep. So firstly, need a little bit of garlic. The garlic is going to get roughly chopped and mixed with ginger. It doesn't particularly matter the size or shape, we just want to roughly go over it until it's in smaller, rougher sections. I'm going to add that into my ginger and garlic mixture there. Now, the other vegetables that I'll be using today are broccoli, carrot and bean sprouts. So this is broccoli if you've never seen it before. And it's a real easy way to prep. Take your knife and we cut off one of the little trees. Now, to prepare these, we're just going to split those trees in half using the bridge technique that I demonstrated last week. Fingers down on top, knife runs through the bridge, splits it in half. Sorry, it was the claw technique I demonstrated last week. That is the bridge technique, that is new. So, fingers over the top, knife through the gap, straight down. Very good technique for splitting things in half. I'm done with the broccoli now. On to the carrots. Now the carrots, I am going to do a Julienne slice. Now this is quite challenging and quite precise. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bridge technique to cut my carrot in half. Please make sure that you are supervised throughout this practical by an adult. Then I'm going to use my claw technique, which I did demonstrate last week, to thinly slice the carrot. So fingers in a bridge, a long wall along the carrot, knife resting against the fingers, and then gently slicing down to make a long, thin slice of carrots. Now, once we've done this, we could stop, but we're not going to, because we're going to carry on, and we are going to matchstick this carrot. So I'm going to take this slice, and I'm going to make it into much finer matchstick slices. This takes precision and a lot of practice. You'll see Julienne used in a lot of Asian cooking. It goes really nice with noodles because it's the same size and shape. So we can see there my nice Julienne carrots. I'm going to place that in with the rest of my pre-prepared vegetables. If you've never seen them before, these are bean sprouts and they need no preparation whatsoever. You can take them straight out of the bag and pop them in with the rest of your meats. So, my mise en place is ready. Let's start cooking. So this is a wok. Now you will see woks used in a lot of Asian cooking because they're great for stir frying and flipping. You can, however, use a regular old frying pan. That works just as well. So into my wok, once again, I'm going to be using British rapeseed oil, but you can use different types of oil. Sunflower is fine, vegetable oil is fine, olive oil is okay, but it does burn quite a low temperature, so it's not great for stir frying. I'm going to give a good 2 tablespoons worth of oil. And then just because it's me eating this and I like it, I'm going to use a little bit of sesame oil for flavour as well. Now, while that's getting hot, we're going to go over our preparation for the rest of the dish. So we've got our chicken ready. We've got our vegetables ready to go. And we've got the ginger and garlic mixture ready to go. The recipe requires a fair amount of water throughout the cooking as well. So I've got a little jug here with a tablespoon ready to add a little bit of water in as necessary. I've got my noodles ready and I've got my final seasoning. If you've watched the YouTube video with Jamie Oliver already, you'll see that they do a final season of 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt, a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of soy sauce. So that's our final seasoning to go through. I'm going to check to see if the pan is hot by placing 1 piece of chicken in. And from that sound, you know that it's hot. Now it's spitting a lot because there's a lot of liquid in there, so I'm going to aim away from myself as I place it in. In with this is going to go half of the ginger and garlic. And I'm going to move it around. And I'm looking for the chicken to go golden brown. So I'm just using a wooden spoon, pushing the chicken around, making sure it's coated in the oil. And then it's going golden brown. Once it's gone golden brown, and I'm sure it's cooked, I'm going to place it in a separate bowl. And then I can start on the vegetables. So I'm just flipping it over, making sure that it's cooked. And I can be sure that it's cooked when I can see no more pinkness on the chicken, that it's white all the way through. I'll check it by using the spoon to break a piece in half and see that it is white all the way through. So I'm going to start moving the chicken using my spoon into this side bowl I've prepared here. Now I'm not going to clean the pan in between cooking the chicken and cooking the vegetables. I'm going to keep all of that flavour in there. So in go my veg. And the remainder of my onion and garlic. And a little bit of that water that we talked about. This will help steam the vegetables. Lovely, so I'm going to keep that on the heat. Keep it moving around. We're going to add the noodles and the chicken back into it in a moment, ready to finish the dish. We want the vegetables to remain quite crunchy. the crunchier they are, the more nutritional content they keep. Stir frying is actually quite a healthy method of cooking because the high temperature means it is cooked quickly and there's not a nutritional loss left. They also use a very small amount of oil in cooking it, which also makes it quite nutritional. So, I'm moving it around, making sure that all of the vegetables are cooking. I'm now going to add the chicken back in, my noodles, and a bit more water. Going to get rid of my washing up. Remember to try and wash up as you go. And I'm going to get my bowl ready in the oven, nice and warm, so that it helps keep the food warm when I serve it. So I'm going to use a spoon and I'm going to try and break these noodles up a little bit. If I had a lid for my wok, I could be adding it on top now to help seal in the flavour and to keep it hot. But my wok doesn't have a lid. So the noodles won't take very long. The chicken was already cooked, and I can tell because I've broken it in half and I've made sure that it's not pink in the middle. All my ingredients are coming together nicely. So now I'm going to add in my final seasoning, which is a 3/4 teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon and a half of sugar, and a teaspoon of soy sauce. I'm going to add that in and scrape it all in there. Make sure that's dissolving. Now, I've had my oven on, heating my bowl up, so it's not going to take very long to warm. You can also warm them in the microwave for a minute or so. Now, we talked a little bit about last week about garnishing our foods. I've prepared a little garnish that I like with a stir fry. I've got some cashew nuts here that I've just smashed up, and I've also got some pea shoots that I'm going to serve on the top. So from here, I'm going to take a pair of tongs and I'm going to pinch a good amount of noodles and I'm going to place them straight into my bowl. And then I'm going to pick up some of the extra chicken, broccoli and other vegetables. But I also want to get in some of that seasoning as well, some of that sauce. So I'm just going to pour a little bit over the top there. I've actually been doing about 2 portions because this is lunch for myself and my fiance. So, on the top here, scattering of crushed cashew nuts if you want to. And then I've also got a couple of pea shoots that I'm going to add for decoration on the top here. If you got them, grab your chopsticks and you're ready to go. I hope you enjoy it.